Uh, Anisha, are we ready to roll?
Yes, brother, we can. Aaron has also joined. Yes, I'll just promote Aaron and then we can go ahead.
So except for the anchors, that's Manisha and Vishal, the rest of us are going to mute our videos and our mics, and we'll come in when we need to come according to the program. I've sent the program sheet to most of you. I'll just send it to Brendan. I don't think I've sent it to Brendan as yet. All the very best, and thank you for joining us this evening. Over to Manisha and Vishal.
While we wait to start our program, we request all the panelists and attendees to keep your video on and your mic on mute till your chance comes. Before we move on with our event, for those that require sign interpretation, I would like to remind you to pin the video of Miss Erin. In fact, if all of you opt for the gallery view, not speaker view, you will see us anchors and key speakers throughout the session. We also have translation available in Hindi, English, French. For the one using the laptop, please find the option of interpretation below. The ones joining from the phone, please click on the three dots displayed below, where you will find the option of interpretation. I am Manisha, and I will be a host for this program today. I have been part of Pratik for the past 8 years and have been actively advocating for child rights in my community. I represent 160 million vulnerable children of India. In the fact, I live in a challenging urban settlement. I go to a Hindi government school in a country where government schools are primarily meant for vulnerable children of poor parents. My parents belong to the unorganized sector to which over 90% of India's working population belong, and who get no leaves, no pension, no security. I also belong to the margin community of India, and I'm happy to be the amplifier of the voice of the vulnerable children. In the year 2020, I was awarded as the most promising candidate under the category Pro Activist of Earth. I have been a speaker at UN Australia Sustainable Partnership Forum, where I focused on how young people across the globe can come together and collaborate for the better achievement of SDGs. I now welcome you to the birth anniversary of Brother Edmund Rice and to the inaugural of Bid Farewell 2C19 event.
I am Vishal. I am a co-host for this program with Manisha today. I too represent young people of India who have had unfair start. My childhood was spent with my mother and sister on the payments of New Delhi. I was fortunate to have a support of Salam Balak Trust who focuses on street children, where I learned my spoken English and I picked up my theoretical skills and German. Andreas, Andreas and unsere deutsche Sprache Friend herzlich willkommen.
Hello.
Presently,
Servus. Hello.
presently, I am associated with Pratik in on ground COVID relief work.
Pratik came into existence on 9th October 2013 as a registered society with a vision of every child being empowered to stand for every right for everyone. Pratik in Hindi literally means everyone. Pratik convenes the Nine is Mine campaign, which is a national advocacy initiative of, for, and by the children. Today, is 200 259th birth anniversary of Brother Edmund Rice and the founder of the Christian Brothers and Presentation Brothers and the patron of Pratik. Let us all remember Edmund, the advocate for human rights and social justice, one who always stood up for his people. Let us watch a small summary of how Edmund responded to the situation. To the situation, may be inspired with Edmund's spirit, who opened his heart to serve the poor and the marginalized.
Today we have Brother Liam with us. Brother Liam is a Christian brother originally from Cork and lives in Dublin presently. He served on the province leadership team of Europe. Also, he spent good part of his life in India. During his time in St. Columbus School, Brother Liam took immense pain. Brother Liam took immense pain to make the boys gentlemen and not academicians. He was immaculately dressed, always crisp white pajama kurta. He immersed himself and adapted so easily into Indian culture and even speaks Hindi so well. We are happy to have you with us today on the birth anniversary of Edmund Rice. We request to share the life of Edmund Rice with us. I request Brother Liam, please unmute yourself and share your message with us.
Good evening, everybody, and good morning to some and good afternoon to others. On this occasion of the birthday of Blessed Edmund Rice. Blessed Edmund, his main idea in life was to make people aware of God. That God was the one in whom they lived and moved and had their being. And to do that, he wanted to give them their self-respect. So his long-term aim in life was to give people education, to give them self-respect, to give them work, and to give them a reason for living. It goes back, no, there's something, continue. When we look at Brother Edmund Rice himself, at the moment we're living in a COVID-19 situation where people are afraid and worried about their health and about their life. And in Edmund's time, even his own wife was caught up in an epidemic. She died of typhoid. There was typhoid in the city of Waterford in 1799, and his wife died. And that opened Edmund's heart to the children of the workers on the quays of Waterford. He tried various things to get people to teach these young people, but it didn't work. So Edmund decided that he would invest himself, his own life, in looking after children. So the first thing that he had to do was he saw that education was the core. If people were educated, then they'd have self-respect, and then they could open themselves to the calling that God was giving them. But to get people to come to the school, because they were hungry, Edmund fed them. So before class in the morning, every boy that came to the school was fed. And when he was educated and had to go for an interview, Edmund made sure that he had a suit of clothes. He had a coat, a jacket, trousers, and a shirt so that he could appear for the interview and make an impression and get a job. So Edmund's immediate term was to get work and housing and self-respect for people. In my own school in Cork, the very first community of brothers had to put off going into the school because there was an epidemic of typhoid in the city of Cork. And so the building that was built as a school actually became a hospital, as we see pop-up hospitals around the place now for COVID-19. The first monastery of the brothers in Cork was used as a typhoid hospital, and the brothers in the community went in and served those people. And I saw recently in a newsletter that there were 3 other brothers communities that were also used as hospitals. But when I went looking for them this morning, I couldn't find the names of them, but they're there somewhere. We realize that there are philanthropists around the world who are giving money, like Bill Gates, like Mr. Tata, like Mr. Premji. People with plenty of money are giving money to look after sick people and to alleviate pain and sickness. But what Brother Edmund Rice did was he gave himself. He put his whole life on the line. And that's what Pratyek is about. It's putting people's lives on the line and reaching out to ordinary, normal people, giving them their self-respect, making them aware of the great God that's looking after us in our creation. So thank you very much for today. I'm delighted to see that Pratyek is up and running, and please God that we'll have many more of these. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Brother Liam, for being with us today.
Let us watch a small summary of how Edmund responded to the situation at his time. Maybe inspired with Edmund's spirit, who opened his heart to serve the poor and the marginalized.
There was born a man long ago. He heard his father calling him. How can I help, Lord? How can I lend a hand? Just look around you and you'll know. He saw the young boys with no place to go, no money for an education, so they missed out. So Edmund gave what he had and started a school, a place to learn in the faith of God. Edmund Ignatius rise. Today we celebrate celebrate your life. You were a guiding light to those who followed you. Ignatius rise. Today we celebrate your life. You were a guiding light to those who followed you.
Pratik has responded to the pandemic in 2020 as well as in 21 in all possible ways. Pratik made sure to reach out to the vulnerable in all possible ways. They lived their statement, leave no one behind. Let us look at a small video to know how we responded to the needs of the people.
We are called, we are gifted, we are learning to respond to the needs of the times. We are living here today. We are called, we are lifted, we are hanging on your word. Where to now, Edmund? Where would you go now? Go to each other, yes, that's what Jesus said. Serve one another, that's exactly what you did. Out on the edges, the shadows, a star was burning bright to guide the young ones. You taught them to claim their human right. You said it's ours to choose life. In God the healing, name what you're fearing. God is revealing through the pride of the poor, standing tall. We are called, we are gifted, we are learning to respond to the needs of the times. We are living here today. We are called, we are lifted, we are hanging on your word. Where to now, Edmund? What would you do now?
Now we have Devika Bajaj, the creative head and ideator of fundraiser. Bid farewell to C19. Join and tell us about this auction, art auction to raise fund for COVID relief.
Deepika, are you there?
So we will move on to the next thing, and Devika will rejoin us. She's lost some connection, so she will rejoin us.
We now welcome Raghu sir to our event. Sir is world's renowned photographer. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1971. Besides winning many national and international awards, Sir has exhibited his work in London, Paris, New York, and across the world. His photo essays have appeared in many of the world's leading magazines and newspapers, including Time, Life, Geo, the New York Times, etc. He has served 3 times on the jury of World Press Photo and twice on the jury of UNESCO's International Photo Contest. Please unmute yourself, sir, and share a few words with us.
Ji, thank you very much for asking me to join in. Since this is a children's forum, purpose for children to support them, it is known and it is said that children are a common treasure of any community, a common treasure of any nation. And during this COVID period, when the ruthless COVID is attacking and killing anybody, anywhere, and many parents, maybe father is lost or mother is lost, and these children certainly need more care than anybody else, than all of us. And actually, I have been photographing India for the last 50 years, and I have been everywhere whenever there is any big event is happening or like Bhopal gas tragedy, disaster, the wars of 71 and 72. But I am very sorry to say that this time around, my family, because I am nearing 80, my family doesn't allow me to go out. And this is such an amazing period when death is visiting almost every family everywhere, the streets, the homes, and every institution. Everywhere there is maramari, the death. And I can't go and photograph it. But I have got one photograph of a village nearby when I was going with my family, and I saw that they were hoisting a national flag on Republic Day. And these school children, they were standing in prayer. But if you look at their expressions, they look so lost and completely, I mean, they don't know, what's happening to the world. Such is the innocence of these young minds. So this is one of the picture I took. And how I want to go back to situations, to hospitals, to streets where people are lined up for oxygen, or outside the hospitals where they want to get beds and things like that. But I'm very sorry, I haven't been able to do anything. But in any case, I send my best wishes to all the connected, concerned individuals and young people for their contribution and their coming together for this purpose. God bless you all. Lots of blessings and love. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us today. We look your support in our future.
Sure.
We will now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Devika, are you there? So, children are highly resilient, but the pandemic had profound effects that risk scarring many of them for life. We have seen many children being dropped out from schools during the COVID. The pandemic left thousands of children without parents. COVID-19 has also increased crime and violence against children in India. We have some children to share their stories with us. They would share how they are coping with COVID-19.
We have with us Aditya Kanu from the rural area of Kakar district of Assam, and belongs to the Adivasi communities from the tea garden areas, which is one of the most vulnerable group in India.
Aditu, are you there?
Aditya, please
Yes, sir.
unmute
Yes, I am.
yourself.
Yeah.
Please share your story with us. Those,
Hi,
those,
everyone.
those who want to listen in English, please switch to the English interpretation channel. You may start, Aditya. You may start.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. मेरा नाम आदित्य कानू है और मैं सनातन उन्नयन संस्था से हूँ और मेरा उम्र 16 साल है। मैं एक टी गार्डन कम्युनिटी से बिलोंग करता हूँ और मैं जहाँ पे रहता हूँ उस सिटी का नाम सिलचर है और मैं जहाँ पे रहता हूँ उस विलेज का नाम दारबिट्टी स्टेट है। मेरा एम है कि मैं बड़ा होकर एक सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर बनूं। हमारे फैमिली में 7 मेंबर है। हमारे पापा जो कि विलेज के पंचायत हैं, मम्मी हाउसवाइफ है, जो दादी जी है उनका काफी उम्र हो गया जिनके कारण वो मतलब ठीक से चल नहीं पाते हैं और जो दादाजी हैं उनको पिछले 5 साल से पैरालाइसिस हो गया है। बड़े भैया ने अपना ग्रेजुएशन पास कर लिया और छोटे भैया 2nd ईयर पे हैं और हमारे फैमिली में सिर्फ हमारे पापा ही हैं जिन्हें 5000 करके सैलरी मिलता है जो कि हमारे फैमिली के नीड्स के लिए बहुत कम है। तो फिर सिचुएशन चेंज हो गया कोविड के कारण और हमारा जो पूरा लाइफ था वो चेंज हो गया। तो अब हमारे जो पापा का सैलरी मिलना वो बंद, जो पढ़ाई था वो डिसकंटिन्यूड हो गया इस कोविड के कारण। तो इस सिचुएशन को देखते हुए भाई ने एक छोटा सा शॉप ओपन किया हमारे रोके बाजार पे, लेकिन कोविड के कारण शॉप भी नहीं चल रहा था। तो ये हमारे मतलब फैमिली का ये बहुत ही हार्ड टाइम था जो हम लोग फेस कर रहे हैं। तो इस समय हमारे पास जो भी खाने के सामान जैसे कि दाल, चावल, सब्जी या मेडिसिन ये सब और सभी जरूरत का सामान हमें खरीद नहीं पा रहे हैं हम। तो इस सिचुएशन में बहुत ही हार्ड टाइम था हमारे फैमिली के लिए जो हम फेस कर रहे हैं और इनकम ना होने के कारण मैं बहुत स्ट्रगल कर रहा था अपने पढ़ाई को लेकर कि उस टाइम पापा ने जैसे तैसे करके मुझे एक सेकंड हैंड फोन खरीद के दिया जो कि 3000 का था। बट फोन खरीदने के बाद भी जो कि हर महीने मोबाइल का रिचार्ज और नेटवर्क इशू होने के कारण और जो कि स्टडी मटेरियल जैसे कि बुक्स कॉपीज और जो कि अभी हायर क्लासेस में हूँ तो उसके लिए जो गाइड बुक्स चाहिए वो सब खरीद नहीं पा रहे हैं और जो कि अभी क्लासेस ऑनलाइन हो गए हैं तो उसके लिए जो नेटवर्क कनेक्शन वो हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत स्लो जिसके कारण मैं क्लासेस अटेंड नहीं कर पा रहा था। तो इसके कारण मुझे लगता है कि मैं कहीं ना कहीं पढ़ाई से दूर होता जा रहा हूँ और इसी कारण मैं बहुत डिप्रेस हो गया था, बहुत डिप्रेशन में चला गया था और मैं सोचने लगा कि मैं क्या अपना पढ़ाई कर भी पाऊंगा या नहीं और मैं फ्यूचर में मेरा जो पाऊंगा। तो उसी टाइम मेरे एक भैया थे उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि तुम YouTube पे वीडियोस बना के पैसा अर्न कर सकते हो। तो मुझे उस टाइम पता नहीं था कि YouTube क्या होता है, तो उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि YouTube क्या है। फिर मैंने YouTube पे भी सर्च किया कि YouTube पे हम कैसे वीडियो बना सकते हैं। तो वहां पे जानने के बाद मैंने खुद से मैंने खुद से एक YouTube चैनल खोला जिसका नाम है AK टेक्निकल। हालांकि मेरे पास अभी वीडियो बनाने के लिए सामान नहीं है जैसे कि कैमरा, फोन, ट्राइपॉड और माइक एक्सेट्रा ये सब मेरे पास नहीं है। फिर भी मैंने ठान लिया था कि मैं यूट्यूब में वीडियोस बनाऊंगा और हालांकि जो चैनल है वो भी बहुत ही नया है और छोटा भी है। तो फिर भी मैंने ठान लिया है कि मैं यूट्यूब में वीडियोस बनाऊंगा और अपने फैमिली को इससे जो भी यूट्यूब से मुझे अर्निंग हो मैं उससे अपने फैमिली का फाइनेंशियल हेल्प करूं और सिर्फ अपने फैमिली का ही नहीं, इससे मैं उन बच्चों को भी हेल्प करूं जिनको टेक्निकल इशू फेस हो गए हैं। जैसे कि अभी लॉकडाउन का टाइम है तो अभी मतलब हम अपने पढ़ाई नहीं कर पा रहे क्योंकि नेटवर्क कनेक्शन होने के स्लो होने के कारण, जैसे कि अभी मैं खुद फेस कर रहा हूँ कि क्लासेस अटेंड नहीं कर पा रहे थे। इसीलिए मैंने एक जैसे कि ऐप होता है ब्रेनवे, तो उसी रिलेटेड मैंने वीडियो बनाया कि आप इसमें सर्च करके अपना क्वेश्चन का आंसर ले सकते हो। तो मैंने कुछ इस प्रकार का वीडियो बनाया है, यूट्यूब पे अपलोड किया है और चाहता हूँ इससे मेरा भी जो मतलब एक्सपीरियंस है मैं उनको शेयर करूं और अपना फैमिली का कुछ सपोर्ट भी करूं। तो लास्ट में मैं आपको बोलना चाहूंगा कि आपको जैसे कि पता है कि मैं बहुत डिप्रेशन में था, फिर भी मैंने हार नहीं माना, मैंने अपना यूट्यूब पे चैनल बनाया। उसी तरह मैं आपको बोलना चाहूंगा कि आपको भी हार नहीं माना, इस कोविड के टाइम में आपको भी हार नहीं मानना है। आपको अपना जो मतलब जब ये कोविड का टाइम है तो आपको पूरा ध्यान लगाना है, आपको जो भी आप इस टाइम पे कर सकते हो आपको करना है, कुछ नया सीखना है और कुछ आपको शेयर भी करना है। थैंक यू।
Before we move forward, I would just like to give a summary of what Adito shared with us. So, because some of you wouldn't have switched to your channel, so I would just give a small summary. So, Adito is a young child from the northeast part of India, and his father used to earn a meager income of 5,000 rupees before the COVID pandemic and the lockdown happened. But during the lockdown, and he was the sole earning member of the family, earning 5,000 rupees. But after this, when the lockdown happened, there was no income at home at all. The father lost his job, and he has two brothers and a sister. So it was difficult. Everything was becoming very difficult. However, his father arranged a smartphone for him, a second hand smartphone for him. And Adito has a lot of interest on technical stuff. So Adito has started a YouTube channel. So he has not lost hope even during the COVID pandemic and has tried his best to support his family. He says that the channel is very new right now, therefore, there is not a lot of popularity. But however, he is trying his best to support his family with whatever he can, with his own talent. So this is his story. And just to share, Adito has not had electricity in his place for the last 3 days. And just to charge his phone for joining here with all of us today, he had to travel 7 kilometers just to get that some battery on his phone. So I will ask Adito to share his channel on the chat box so that we can subscribe and help Adito with a small venture that he has taken up. Thank you, Adito.
Thank you, ma'am, and I am sharing the link now.
Thank you, Aditya, for sharing your story with us. You are a real inspiration to all of us here, and you have taught how we can keep the learning going on even during the pandemic.
Now we have Alicia with us. She is from Mumbai. Alicia, please unmute yourself and share your story about the challenges you faced during the COVID.
हेलो फ्रेंड्स मेरा नाम
अलीशा,
एक मिनट सर।
आप थोड़ा सा 1 मिनट के लिए वेट कर सकते हैं?
ओके
Okay, 1 minute. Those who want to listen in English, please switch to English interpretation channel. Alicia?
Also, the French interpretation won't happen during the story. So all of you, even if you're on the French channel, you can go to the English channel just for the story bit. Thank you, everyone.
Alicia, आप सुन रहे हैं? Alicia?
यस सर।
ओके, आप अपनी कहानी शेयर कर सकती हैं अब हमारे साथ।
हेलो एवरीवन, मेरा नाम अलीशा अब्बास पटेल है। मैं 14 साल की हूँ। मेरे घर में 7 लोग हैं। मेरी मम्मी पापा, 2 बड़ी बहन और 2 भाई। मेरे घर में मेरे पापा ही सिर्फ कमाते थे। मेरे पापा टेम्पो ड्राइवर का काम करते थे, जैसे कि शिफ्टिंग करना, कोई भी सामान यहाँ से वहाँ पहुँचाना। लेकिन कोविड की वजह से पापा का काम छूट गया है। मेरी बड़ी बहन पापा का हाथ बटाने के लिए एक डेंटिस्ट के यहाँ नौकरी करती थी, पर कोविड की वजह से वह काम भी उसका छूट गया। वो काम अभी नहीं करती है। मैं 8वीं कक्षा में थी। मेरी स्कूल मीठानगर मनपा हिंदी शाला, जिसमें सिर्फ 8वीं कक्षा तक पढ़ाते थे, क्योंकि वहाँ 8वीं तक ही थी। मैंने 9वीं के लिए और भी दूसरे स्कूलों में एडमिशन कराने की कोशिश की, पर कोविड के कारण मेरा और कहीं एडमिशन नहीं हो पा रहा था। मैंने प्राइवेट स्कूल में एडमिशन नहीं करा सकती थी क्योंकि हमारे पास उतने पैसे नहीं है। मेरे बाकी जो सारे दोस्त हैं उनका 9th में एडमिशन हो चुका है। उनकी पढ़ाई चालू है पर मुझे पढ़ाई करने का मौका नहीं मिल पा रहा है। मेरे बाकी जो सारे दोस्त हैं वो में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। बहुत सारी एक्टिविटीज में हिस्सा ले रहे हैं जिससे उनका विकास हो रहा है। जैसे कि हम सब जानते हैं हमारा बाल अधिकार है, जैसे कि राइट टू एजुकेशंस, राइट टू डेवलपमेंट, राइट टू पार्टिसिपेशंस। मुझे ये कोई अधिकार नहीं मिल पा रहा है। मैं इसके लिए बहुत परेशान रहती थी, लेकिन मैं पढ़ाई करने की जिद नहीं छोड़ूंगी। इसलिए मैं अपने दोस्तों के साथ उनके ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में पढ़ने जाती थी उनके साथ। और अगर मेरे पास किताबें नहीं रहती थी तो मैं अपनी दोस्तों से किताबों की फोटोकॉपी ले लेती। अगर फोटोकॉपी करने के लिए कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ जाती, उसमें भी नहीं कर पाती थी तो मैं उनसे पूछ कर करती थी, या फिर उनकी किताबें 1-2 दिन के लिए लेती थी और पढ़ के उन्हें लौटा देती थी। मैंने मेरी पढ़ाई करने की जिद नहीं छोड़ी है और मैं अगली बार कोशिश करूंगी कि मेरा किसी स्कूल में एडमिशन हो जाए, जिससे अगले साल की तरह ये साल मेरा बर्बाद ना हो और मुझे भी मेरे पढ़ाई के बाल अधिकार मिले। शुक्रिया मेरी कहानी सुनने के लिए आप सबका।
Thank you so much, Alisha, for sharing your story with us.
We, the young people of Pratik, believe in art to spread our message and talk about our rights and rights of our Mother Earth. We have always used creative means to spread our message because we believe that people hear us better when we are creative. We have great mentors who have supported and trained us in all that we do. And we have some of them here with us today. We are very happy to share a glimpse of our work in the form of small presentation, and we hope it will encourage you all to be part of our initiative.
Earth is dying. She's just trying to survive. Stopped in the air. Why is our love driven from her life? Yeah. Wanna be a sinner for a mother's death. Make her break down with her every breath. What's the point in crying after she gonna be dead? Don't you realize? Do you just wanna be a burden on her head? Do you think you're too cool cause you just don't care? Do you think her existence is even fair? Want the future to be our grave? She's not our slave. It's more sadder than having more plastic than fish in sea. Essence cruelly dark, the sins of you and me. It's more sadder, we're stuck in our lives. Our cries are bleeding through our knives. Made thousands go extinct. Amy, criminal of all times. Criminal of all crimes, yeah.
था एक समय जब थी शुद्ध हवा, पेड़ पौधे सुकून से लहराते थे। यहाँ आकाश में पंछी उड़ते थे सब साथ मिलकर, न रखते थे धुएं के बादल सूरज आंचू को ढककर। धरती पर अब हो रहा बहुत ज्यादा क्लाइमेटिक चेंज, एनवायरमेंट का डिस्ट्रक्शन अब जा रहा है आउट ऑफ रेंज। ये गाड़ियों से निकला धुआं कर रहा है दूषित हवा, इसके धुएं के कारण पेड़ पौधे मरते यहाँ। जो देते हैं ऑक्सीजन वही हो रहे हैं कम, इसी ऑक्सीजन की कमी से लोग तोड़ रहे हैं दम। इसी हानि के जिम्मेदार है सिर्फ और सिर्फ हम, यही तो रीजन है कि हर जगह है गम। बहने वाली नदियाँ सूखी है पड़ी, फिर भी चुपचाप कुछ न करे पब्लिक है खड़ी। पवित्र नदी को कर दिया है हमने अपवित्र, हमारे कुकर्मों ने बदला निसर्ग का चित्र। बचाओ प्रकृति को इस हो रहे विनाश से, जितने पेड़ काटे हैं उससे ज्यादा लगाओ आज से। चलो पानी बचाकर भविष्य हम बचाए, इस धरती माँ को पहले जैसा सुंदर
All I'm asking you is to speak up. Speak for the better and speak for the lesser. All these GHGs, CFCs, CO2,
All you're doing is destroying our road too. You're changing the weather hot or cold like a heater. So speak up for change and speak up for the better. Today's happiness may cost tomorrow's scary nice. So stop now and lessen the future's price. Climate change is really bad, feel the future's really sad. Calamities that we've had was a problem that's a fact. They keep on protesting, detesting, relaxing, so the next generation will keep on suffering.
Wake up everyone, the climate's changing. As we see the jump and the sea is expanding a few years from now, coastal cities will be drowned, animals going extinct. How does that sound, huh? Not good, I agree. We're destroying this planet. We need to limit pollution or even ban it. We need to start acting before it's too late. It's all up to us, we control the earth's fate. All I see is people going about their lives. Wake up everyone, our planet's crying. So now I have to ask you, how do you feel? What do we do to make this seem real? Cause it seems to me that nobody understands the scale of this problem, the destruction of this land. Our government is caring only about the capital, clearing forests in the name of development. Enough is enough, we need to stop now. Even though we know the solution, we're ignoring it like wow. Stop burning fossil fuels, use cleaner energy. We've been breaking CO2 records in this century. If you want a healthy life for your kids and don't want them to have to pay for what you did, start today, make small changes and act wiser. Let this be a gift from Mother Earth. Let's embrace it.
Through a million storms, we will stand the ground. We will not lose hope. Save Mother Earth from our own demons' curse. We will heal your scars. Mother won't let you go. We'll survive. Won't let your heaven die. Won't let you fade away. Won't let you break down. We will wipe the darkness in your eyes. We'll let you demonstrate the light from your life. You're our life. Our earth is done. She's just trying to survive. Stopped in the our love drives from her life, yeah.
I hope the small presentation helped you understand our work better. And as I mentioned, that we have some of our mentors here with us today. And they are none other than our panelists, Daniel, Andres, and Mary Bainson.
Our first panelist is Dr. Daniel Connell. He is an Australian performing artist and arts educator. He has a Master of Visual Art and PhD from the University of South Australia. Daniel lived in India for 2 years and travels and exhibits here. He lectures at Adelaide Central School of Art. We welcome you, Daniel. Do unmute yourself and share a few words with our participants. Also, if you could tell us how the art and emotions are linked. Daniel?
Thank you very much. There's nothing really much to say except to honor the work that you're doing at the moment in this incredibly trying situation. The people here in Australia, I move with the Indian community here a lot, and people are losing people left, right, and center, losing people close to them, losing parents. It's just such a terrible situation. So a huge amount of praise to you people who are working in this really, really, really trying situation at the moment. To the people who are presenting today, the young folk, I think I might have met some of you. It's great to see you again. To the people who are supporting this project from overseas, to Steve and Anisha and Anmol and the team behind the scenes who make these sorts of things happen. It's incredible to be in the presence of one of the world's great photographers, Raghu Rai. I've followed his work for a long time. It's incredible that he's joined, and all of the people that are presenting today. There's nothing more to say except that this is an amazing venture, and it's wonderful that you're using art to bring people together, to think about it, to be present with each other, and to try and support each other across the globe. It's nice, at least, that COVID has given us Zoom meetings like this so we can be present with each other. You wanted to see one image. I'll just try and do a screen share. Okay, I can't do a screen share. I can, how can I show an image?
Jeevan, if you can make Daniel the co-host. Jeevan, can you do that?
Sure, it's done.
Okay. This is an image I'm supposed to talk to because I grew up as a Catholic. You can see that we've got some people from Ireland here. I'm also of Irish heritage, living in Australia. My Irish ancestors came for a while, so the Catholic faith is prominent here with Edmund Rice, etc. This is an image I painted earlier this year of Mary. And if we're talking about children, Mary was quite young. She was a child. So Mary, Mother of God, she was a child when she bore Mary, a child in today's sense, but she was a strong woman, a strong young woman. So this image of Mary talks about Mary the compassionate on one side and Mary the angry on the other side. You can see the two different eyes. You can see the two different ways she's looking. I used two different students at a Catholic college here as models. Two people volunteered for this. And the idea is to show that there's a time for compassion and openness, and there's a time for anger and directness. And I think Mary was a person who embodies both of that as a young woman, and the work of Pratyek champions and advocates for young women like our people who are presenting here today to be able to, as earlier presenter mentioned, to have the light of God in them and be compassionate, but also to speak directly like that last presentation showed us. So if we're talking about COVID, it's a time to be compassionate and it's a time to be direct. If we're talking about climate change, there's a time to be compassionate and a time to be direct. And I think that work embodies the work of Pratyek. So I'll just unshare that now. So thank you very much for having me as part of it. It's a great honor. And it was great to work with Pratyek last year on that, the climate change project. But now we've got many more pressing things to face. So let's see that we can raise some money and raise some funds and raise some awareness and at least stretch our hands out to support you. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. That's all. Namaste.
Thank you, Daniel, for being with us today. It was a great learning about your work. We look forward to your continued support.
Thank you very much, Vishal.
Thank you, Daniel.
Our next panelist is Andreas Cheska. Andreas is from Vienna, Austria. Andreas is an actor, director, musician, and acting teacher. Since 2011, he has been involved with Art for Change as an art teacher for mime, circus art, projects, and sustainable long-time workshop with children from slum areas in New Delhi, India. What do you think are the feelings of children in these COVID times? Could you please respond to that through mime? Hope your Hindi classes are going well, Andres. You can आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कीजिए और हमसे कुछ बात कीजिए, Andres.
Can you hear me? I have internet online troubles. Am I audible? Okay. Namaskar, Manisha. Namaskar, सब बच्चे, सब दोस्तों दिल्ली में. What do I think, how children feel, what their hearts are telling them in this kind of situation? in this terrible situation, if you speak it out, how to make a mime about it. I think Dil is flying away. The heart is flying away. And they have to wait, and the heart is somewhere. Or bache duki, sa bache duki ho, bahut duki, until the heart will come back. This is a poetical, I don't know, it was very spontaneous now. I am not knowing if I'm sure with that, what I did now. But as I know daily since more than 10 years, working with you, to have the honor to work with people like the anchor, Manisha. I know her since she was a baby, not a baby, but quite a baby. And so many others, 150 or 200 other children. And for me, it was a gift for these 10 years to be part of this this meeting with those people which have all those talents, which are from the slums, which are from poor background, but having not talents, energies, having everything, but not the possibilities to spread it out and to learn, to develop. And Steve, he has a mind trying to change it in every second of his life. He's on it, and he's on it with his heart. And it has kind of I went in, but for me the most important was the contact always, and I hope it will come back, that we will have the possibility soon. I'm sure. It's not a hope. I'm sure that things will get in this apocalyptic situation in India now, which is different. We should understand in Europe that it's a very different situation than it is here it was in Europe, because we are getting in a better circumstance now. But in India, a pandemic like this means a complete different thing for the people. I could now talk a long time about this, but to make it a little bit understand. But what we should not lose, and every child, every human being in India, is the knowledge that it will end. There will be an end. It will last for months. It will continue. I don't know how long, but it will end. And our freedom maybe now is freedom. What is freedom? To listen to ourselves, what we can do without being able to do anything. And the children are the most suffering. No school, no activities, nothing is allowed, nothing is there for them. So they are losing time of their lives in this situation. And we should give a focus, adults, on it. We should take care of that. This is what I try to get in my mind, and how is it possible? I mean, at the moment, it's only possible to act on this internet medias, which is not my cup of coffee normally. I am an artist. I like to be face to face to someone, and the base of this work is to be face to face. And we will come back to this. We will come back, and I'm working for that. So let's wait a little bit. It will get better, and we will come to the point to meet again, to work again, to do the whole thing, to develop again, and that will be soon. So thanks for letting me talk here. Maybe it was nonsense. Artists are talking a lot of nonsense also. But greetings, and we see soon. Jaldi, हम मिलेंगे.
एंड्रेस, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कि आपने अपना कीमती समय हमें दिया. Thank you, Andres.
Our next panelist is Mary Branson. She is best known for her large-scale conceptual light sculptures and installations. We look forward to hearing from you, ma'am. Could you please show us a piece of sculptures that you have prepared and tell us how the world needs to be respond to the children in this COVID times? Ma'am, please unmute yourself and share a few words with us.
Hello, I'm very honoured to be here today, and it's been wonderful hearing all the stories and everybody speaking, and I just wanted to carry on and say from what Andreas and Daniel was saying that it will pass, everything passes, but it's been tough, and over here in the UK it's been we're sort of coming out the other side of lockdown, but for the last year we've been doing everything online, and I think really if I show you a little bit of my work, and then you'll understand how I use my creative process to communicate ideas about social justice and climate change and women's equality. So can I screen share? So can I go on here and
Jeevan?
It has so
You can share the screen. You have the access, Mary. So
okay. Okay, so here, hang on a second, I'll just put this up here. So it's easier if I describe it. I work in the UK and I make pieces of work in really interesting spaces. So as an artist, I don't work in galleries, and I work in cathedrals, and I try and communicate messages. So this piece was building ladders and ladders of light and bridges inside a cathedral called Salisbury Cathedral, and that was talking about enabling everybody, whoever they are, whatever start in life they have, is to get a start in life and be able to make anything they want of their life. And this piece here was working with a couple of hundred people. They helped me make the artwork, and in the Surrey Hills where I live, we made these large skeleton bales, and this was talking about climate change and how harvest in the UK is changing, and harvest is something that is embedded in our culture and something that we're losing. And when I made this piece of work, the farmer couldn't make enough hay for harvest, for the second harvest. So my bales were empty. So they were these skeleton bales. And on the side of the hill, we have these traditions over in the UK where we sing and we all come together and we share experiences. And so at harvest time, and so we still celebrated harvest and brought people together to sing. And then this is a piece that I made in the Houses of Parliament. And while we're online now, this piece is moving and changing constantly with the Thames Tide, which is the river that runs beside the Houses of Parliament, which is the centre for our politics in the UK. And the piece was about equality for women and how we won equality. And even though it's quite an abstract piece, what I wanted to do was to get people to ask questions. So quite a lot with my work is about using art and getting people to ask questions about it. And as creatives, we use inspiration and the history of spaces. So these were hand blown. So that's what I do. That's my day job. And during COVID, I've been working with artists and spaces in London to help people be able to. Well, there's no money at the moment for creative new work, so I've been helping raise money and enable artists to keep on communicating their ideas in London in spaces. So that's what I'm currently doing right now. And but I think it doesn't matter where we live. We're all, as artists, we're all trying our best to communicate ideas and ways of dealing with the situation. Is I think one of the best things to do is to be able to create something, if it's music or dance or sculpture or painting. It enables to mark a moment in your life and communicate exactly how you feel. So thank you very much for having me here today, and very honoured, and I'll carry on listening with interest to everything that you do, and yeah, namaste.
We thank you for inspiring us the amazing work you are doing, ma'am. We look forward to collaborating with you in future.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. We are excited to launch our program, Summer of C19 today. Summer of C19 aims to involve children to ensure child participation and child-led advocacy. It is a creative platform with professional and performing art specialists towards producing recorded performances with correct messaging on our theme COVID-19 to be posted on social media. We will train children on different arts of form like mime, painting, music, etc. and other mediums. We encourage you to spread the word in your networks.
We now welcome Brother Nasamu Munga. He is a well-known drummer. In the last 20 years, he has worked in multiple settings, including schools, mental hospitals, etc. He is interested in serving underserved and marginalized communities. We are glad to have you on board with us. I request you to engage with us in the session for in 5 minutes activity. We would love to see one of the clap techniques that help us leave our tensions beyond to be present at the moment. Please unmute yourself, sir.
Hello, hello. I'm extremely inspired, and thank you, Manisha, for welcoming me with those very profound words. I'm inspired by the panel here from all over the world, and focusing on the Indian experience. I'm sitting in South Africa, just outside of Johannesburg, and I'm a music therapist, and I like to work with I like to work with young people, particularly to bring healing through movement and dance and sound, and so what I want to do today it's just to introduce you to what I will be doing on Saturday with you. And so, okay, without much ado, here is a little refrain. We're beginning a new journey, will you be there? Just that, if we can just sing that, you don't have to worry about how it connects with everyone else. We're beginning a new journey, will you be there? Can we do that together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. We're beginning a new journey, will you be there? One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. We're beginning a new journey, will you be there? Okay, so I want us to just put your hand on where your heart is, whatever hand it is, and please just pay attention. Just pay attention to the beating of your heart. And your heartbeat is connected to the heartbeat of the earth. And your heartbeat is connected to the heartbeat of all that is, all that lives and moves and occupies space. And if I would ask you to use the other hand, whether you've got a table in front of you or whatever object it is, just to play your heartbeat. If you've got a drum or whatever object, just play your heartbeat. And by playing your heartbeat, you're allowing your heartbeat to be in unison with the heartbeat of everyone who is on this call today, and joining and releasing your heartbeat into the world. And while your heart beats, you are alive. You are alive to make change, to transform not just your life, but to transform your community, and in some significant ways to transform the world. From the world that we know to the world that we want. And sometimes in difficult times such as these, it's quite easy to disconnect from the heartbeat. And perhaps it's those times that we need to reconnect with the heartbeat of our own heart and the heartbeat of the whole universe. And they're not separate, but one. And so those that are going to join the meeting on Saturday, I'm inviting you to spend a few moments in the next few days to just connect with your heartbeat. And let your heartbeat guide you and support you in your daily endeavors. And there is the beginning of music. The pulse in your heart, connecting with the pulse in the universe. And that repetition is what rhythm is. And so we are in rhythm. And when we join in rhythm together, we create an ensemble. And so, in that ensemble, we begin to create new energies. We begin together to do new things. So we're beginning a new journey. Will you be there? 1, 2, 1, 2. We're beginning a new journey. Will you be there? Thank you.
Thank you, Pradhan Sam, sir, for being here with us today. We all enjoyed engaging with you. We look forward to collaborating with you in future.
Sure, yes. Thank you.
Walk a Mile in My Shoes is a newly initiated campaign to encourage children from elite school to walk in the shoes of marginalized ones. The entire challenge is geared towards the most marginalized child of India being given a voice to seek their place, to claim their space in society, and speak for themselves at village and municipal forums, from state and national forums through international levels. The campaign also provides a purpose to students from elite schools to walk, to move, to meditate, and to advocate for our cause of helping the last child. It has also been designed to help students stuck in their house due to COVID to have any kind of physical movement or involvement. So activate your bodies, meditate with your spirit, and educate your minds. While you are while you advocate for the most vulnerable child. The campaign is based on the point system. For every 20 minutes of activity you do, you will be awarded 1 point. And every mile you will complete, our sponsor and private investors will devote 9 rupees, which will be directly help children in slums of community India. At the end of every month, participants and their schools will be given attractive awards and certificates based on their points they earn. To know more about this campaign, keep an eye at our website and our social media platforms. We invite all schools and its students to participate in this campaign and help us to reach the last vulnerable child.
Chalk the Talk is an activity that Pratik will engage children in to spread awareness on healthy practices during COVID-19, like promoting vaccination by engaging adults to get vaccinated, importance of physical distance, sanitization and mask, etc. The activity will be done by children using chalk or brick or any other natural color available at home to write on empty path, walls, floor, etc. They can either draw and or write slogans or a message to promote healthy behavior during COVID. Their work will be also be used for social media advocacy. With this, we intend to create a strong team of child advocates in communities and neighborhoods. Additionally, Pratik is collaborating with Young Warriors Coalition Yuva, a multi-stakeholders partnership incubated by UNICEF as a partner to, to catalyst a Plan India movement to mobilize and millions of young citizens to combat COVID-19. In this partnership, Pratik has volunteered to aid and reaching out to vulnerable children across the country via the U Report platform, which is a WhatsApp based technology platform supported by UNICEF. The U Report is also available on Facebook, Telegram, and via missed calls if Androids and or network is not available to children. We now welcome Brother Mac to our event. Brother Mac has worked in India as an Irish Christian brother since 1960, devoted a lot of time to the improvement of our education system. He was invited by Dr. Janki Rajan, director of SCRT, Delhi, to train the teachers on the SERV system, which was later implemented in her national schools. With the support, we prepared Pratek candidate. Brother Mac, I request you to please unmute yourself and share a few words with us. We look forward to hearing the Pratek canticle that you prepared.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, brother.
Yes, brother.
Okay. We paint our earth green for the last child's sake. Liberation for all is the call of Pratyek. Every child, for every right, and for every single one, light footprinting our earth until equity is won. The disabled, the defeated, the excluded everywhere, and the girl child too will thrive on our holistic care. We'll educate and we'll empower all children to fly free within a clean and safe, connected earth community. Inclusion of the last and of the lost and of the least, re-evolutioning our planet, south, west, and north, and east. This spirit guides our hearts and draws us all through mystery to impact each youngster's present and our country's history. Salam, Edmund Bhaiya, for your faith and inspiration, and for all your brave disciples who believed in right relations. Where integrity's flag flies high as a presence now unfurled, may all children advocate for a just, inclusive world. Thank you for listening. God bless you all. Namaste.
Thank you, Brother Mac, for composing the text canticle and sharing it with us. We look forward to your continued support and engagement with us.
We now welcome the one and only Devika Bajaj to announce and guide us through the bed farewell to C19 procedure.
Good evening, everyone. I apologize for not being able to connect earlier. I'm Devika. I'm a final year student of law at the University of Delhi. Almost 9 years ago in high school, I first volunteered for Nine is Mine's Child Rights Campaign. According to a report issued by the UNICEF in November 2020, it was emphasized that children are not the face of this pandemic, but risk being among its biggest victims. 150 million additional children plunged into poverty due to COVID-19, and the number of children living in multidimensional poverty soared to a phenomenal 1.2 billion. The second wave of COVID-19 in India has been devastating, with people battling for the bare minimum to sustain their lives. One couldn't look past headlines and heartbreaking images without a sense of anger and hopelessness. Art has always been an expression of human life in its full spectrum. Visual art, in any form, holds the ability to leave an indelible impression on the consciousness of the observer, unmediated by words and untouched by the barriers of language or social cultural differences. As catalysts of change, the creative community has significantly contributed to the overall health, development, and well-being of our society. Our art auction fundraiser, Bid Farewell to C19, is an effort to lay the foundation of compassion and kindness guided by the founder director of Pratyek, known to most of us as Brother Steve, who through his relentless efforts has always brought together people and ideas and helped us realize what it truly means to be human. As the country grapples with adversity and despair caused by the pandemic, we truly have faith in the creative community across the globe to join a small initiative to stand for those fighting for their survival by donating their artwork for this noble cause. I urge and we hope that everyone from our global family will open their hearts and generously contribute to secure the lives of children vulnerable to this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Devika. We hope with Farewell 2C19 is a success with all our acclaimed and bidding artists and photographers coming on board. Thank you for this beautiful initiative. Earlier, you heard about the work and the experience of a panelist, and we said we will give you a slot. So now is your chance to ask question. To ask your question, you can raise your hands, and we will give you an access to unmute yourself. I repeat, now is your chance to ask your question to our panelists. You can raise your hands and we will give you an access to unmute yourself.
So I would like to invite Brother Steve for the vote of thanks, and after that we can continue with the discussions.
That impromptu change was just to give you some time to think about your questions. So while you are thinking about your questions, may I propose the vote of thanks? You may have noticed that I'm wearing a mask, and that's to symbolize our promotion of wearing masks, double masks right now, to keep young people safe, because we fear a third wave that at which the children of India and across the world would be at the heart of. So with that, we're going to distribute 1.5 million masks across, and they're going to be N95 masks across the country, with young people promoting the cause of wearing masks and preventing the third wave of the coronavirus. We're glad to partner with the UN, UNICEF on that move. But really, I want to begin off with Edmund Rice himself and thank him for bringing us all together. There are many members of the Edmund Rice family, Christian brothers here, former Christian brothers, teachers, and the ones who just love the brothers and love this family and love the spirit of Edmund Rice. Thank you for making this possible by your presence. I may also take this opportunity to thank the members of the Inaugural family and also Claudine Tevnit's family of CGM for being here in large numbers. So these are the young and not so young men who hold the spirit of Edmund Rice and always keep us focused on the spirit. And thank you very much for doing that. We keep you in our prayers as you hold the flame of Edmund Rice. We also thank the anchors of the program, Vishal and Manisha, who spent hours together putting their thoughts together, and their lives are the message. I hope you didn't get distracted with the words, but the real message is their own lives. These young people, these young advocates have struggled through life, and today they become powerful advocates, speaking fearlessly before the Priyanka Chopras and the UN chiefs and the UNICEF chiefs, right in New York, Geneva, right, and in Delhi, and then also the grassroots and villages with their sarpanches. Thank you, Vishal and Manisha, for representing about 160 million children of India who are termed vulnerable officially by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Unofficially, there'll be many more vulnerable children in India. Thank you, Vishal and Manisha. Thank you, Devika, for putting this entire thought and idea together. Uh, you were in the middle of the entire pandemic, locked in your own home. And that's when you came up with this wonderful idea of auctioning art pieces and working on it on a global platform. Thank you for Devika. I know you referred to it as a crazy idea yesterday, but the world is built on crazy ideas. Creation works on chaos. And thank you for daring to be different, daring to bring us all as a world community today, because that one crazy idea that you had, today we have artists from across the world sharing your space. Thank you, Devika. I want to thank all our guest artists today. Raghu Rayaji, thank you for being with us. Despite your age, despite all the challenges you have with this technological age, you were there with us. Thanks, Mary Branson. Thank you, Daniel O'Connell, Andreas, and Nasamu for representing the ends of the four corners of the world and bringing us all together in one voice for children. Daniel and Andres, you've been with us for so many years. And Nasamu too has shared the space of Pratik, teaching our young people drumming. So thanks a lot. Mary, you still need to come to us, and our doors are open. We're waiting for the lockdown to be released, and we're waiting for all four of you or five of you to be back in Pratik and sharing our space with our young people. Thanks to all our board members, Mr. Bennett Pinto, Brother Gussie Jairaj, Brother Edwin D'Souza, Samir Ferrao, Brother David Ryan, Miss Vandana Bedi, Mr. Byron Pereira, for being with us here and for sharing time with us today, and for also dedicating your energies, your vision, your time with us. Bennett, Byron, and Lyle have been with us throughout the pandemic, really driving our spirits and trying to devise the best ways forward to respond to this pandemic. Also with them was Sandeep Narvani, Yogesh Sachdeva, and Gloria, who were with us throughout the pandemic, supporting our own team and trying to find out new ways of responding to the needs of our world today, as you heard in the first song. Thank you to all of you. We thank our team who put this together, Anmol, Anisha, Sunil, for the the long hours you spend with our young people, designing this program, connecting up with all our artists and connectors. Thank you so much for all the hard work that went into it. At 2 last night, I realized that Anmol was still up, sending out messages and redesigning it. And I'm presuming, and I can bet that even Anisha and Sunil were up trying to promote this. But also two young people, whose pictures you see here in the photograph in front of you, that's Jeevan and Rahul, who spent hours together doing all the technical bits in the background and putting all of this together. We rely a lot on you, and thank you for meeting up to the responsibilities placed on your young shoulders. This is our young team of Pratik. Not to show up, all of us are here, but this morning we gathered again to do a last minute revision of the program. But the ones who are locked at home in various places, some of us are here in the Diocesan Community Center and have locked ourselves in for the last month. Most of us haven't gone out the gates of this campus, thanks to the community here, the cathedral, the archbishop, and the priests here, who have opened the doors to us and allowed us to stay here in this place. We've used this place as a center for oxygen, for supplying concentrators, for supplying rations. And afterwards, we're going to have Soran share with us a live video screening of this. uh, what's happening here in Pratek's hall here. But thanks to all the young people who shared this space and camped out here, bearing the hardships of the heat and the cold storms sometimes, but and the mosquitoes, and just were here to be nonstop with our people here. Thanks to all of you for making these dreams possible. Just to remind you, we have the Karuna project of rations on right now, and we're trying to have 30,000 families fed this time. We call it the Operations Karuna. But before that, I want to thank all the people who've contributed from across the world to our call to support young people and their families. Thanks to Present Sisters and their CLT who've contributed, the Christian Brothers and the PLT of India, grain of, I'm putting the word Edmund rice there, it's a grain of rice from Australia. Actually spearheaded by, some of you may know her, Sabrina Mendonça, then called Mendonça then. But thanks a lot, Sabrina, for supporting us, Caritas India for supporting our venture in Lucknow, Khalsa Aid, Melbourne, CareTech Foundation UK, who's helping us with the masks, Edmund Rice Foundation Australia, and the Habibullah Foundation in Lucknow. You may have noticed a sense of interreligious movements happening here, where we cross beyond borders of religion and come together for this one cause. We also have a call of the mass superheroes, the call to have 1.5 million advocates across India, ensuring that the next wave will be prevented by use of masks, washing hands, maintaining physical distancing, and so on, and of course, promoting vaccines. We're doing this with the UNICEF's Young Warrior campaign, and we thank Dhruv Arora, Snigdha Kundu, Amrita Singh from the UNICEF teams for supporting our cause. And with the Chalk the Talk, where young people who do not have access to digital mediums will be using chalk and brick to basically promote the cause of healthy COVID behavior. Operations Karuna is about reaching out to 200 vulnerable children who suffer the death of a parent or both, and ensuring that food is not the reason for them entering into child labor, child marriage, child trafficking, and that they stay in school. We're going to try and link up with a CSR initiative to ensure that the education also is dealt with. And these are all vulnerable children. Operations SOS Delhi is trying to get 30,000 vulnerable families fed for at least a fortnight across Delhi and all the vulnerable communities. Operation Rice for All is ensuring that 2,000 families of child parliamentarians across India are child parliamentarians that are in all states and union territories get their food to eat and rations for a fortnight, because lockdown has really been a struggle for everybody. Summer of C19, thanks to Anders Nasamu and Nadia from the UK, I'm sure you're going to set the standard for us of spending just 1 hour with teenagers and their families and using your art to spread the messages of COVID. If young people are present and they record their own presentations, the UNICEF will amplify it, stitch all these things together and amplify it for us across India so that your voices reach the margins of our country, even though they're just 20% of our Indian population and much less children that are on social medias. We're hoping that this influential crowd will take the message across and influence the voices of young people on the margins, not influence, but amplify the voices of the margins. And finally, walk a mile. We're really inviting all of you to look into your contact lists and identify schools that will come on board with actually using this platform to understand and educate themselves about the issues of children. You heard 2 stories today, but there are 160 million stories of Indians who need to be heard and affect policy. I loved Mary Bratson's use of the word equality. Not too sure whether she consciously used it, but I loved it because we talk about E for Edmund. I'm going to use the word E for equality. policies that talk about equality and equity. And that's what we're trying to aim for, advocate and propagating a world where everyone has equal opportunities. And that's what we want every young child to do. So I'm imploring, begging of you, if you have any school within your circle of influence, bring them on board and ensure that their children don't go through your education system without having heard the story of the last child. What injustice would it be if they hear about computer education and swimming and dancing and do not hear the story of the children that Edmund Rice, Mary Tavenet, Nano Nagel would have stood for with their lanterns and in their stables. Chalk the talk is what we talked about earlier, and we're asking vulnerable children's voices to be amplified on social media. Thanks to CGM for being with us. And this is a reminder to ask your photographer friends and your artist friends to devote a picture, a painting to the bid farewell. You may have realized that we're not using the word F-A-R-E, but F-A-I-R. We're saying let us bid fair to uh, and and ask for a world fit for children. We're hoping that some artists would actually take their brushes and their cameras and actually capture the pain of children. We hope that one of the auction pieces, some of the auction pieces will be focused on the impact COVID has had on children. And we hope then to take that to international organizations and say, please amplify this. We must change the focus and have the focus on young people. Thanks to all our translators, Mikhail, Replin. Thank you, Chaya and Aksa, for helping us translate into French, Hindi, and most importantly, into sign language, Tem Surenla. We're insisting that we have sign interpretation on all our platforms, even if there may not be somebody who needs it. The reason we want to use it every time we come together on these important platforms is to give the message that whether there are people with hearing impairment or not, when you think of Nine-One, when you think of Pratik, you will think of inclusion. And thanks to those who have helped us ensure this platform is inclusive. This is the first time we've brought in French into our platform. So thanks, Mikhail, for struggling with us with even trying to translate Hindi. But I think Anisha stepped in well to bridge that gap and make it more inclusive. Thank you once again. So once again, thank you to all of you for participating here. We at one stage had 200 and maybe about 250 people here. And we're really glad that all of you have supported us. So we're actually going to end off here with the Sabbath prayer. But after the Sabbath prayer, do feel free to stay on and ask your questions to the panelists, to us. Maybe you have time to share what we're doing, or you may have more questions of how you can engage with Pratik and ensure that the call of Edmund Rice is kept alive in today's time. Like Brother Liam suggested, that typhoid was a plague then, to which Edmund himself lost his wife to. And that would have given the compassion to open his doors and open his schools and communities to that pandemic. I'm going to, after this last final song that the brothers sing so beautifully at every gathering, and the former brothers too, we're going to end with that prayer, which our young people will introduce. But stay on, because Soren will take his camera around and show you what's happening in this little camp, which Father Lawrence from our parish priest of Sacred Heart has opened his doors to us to use this as Pratik's office in these COVID times. Have a look at what's happening later on after the Sabbath prayer song. So over to our young anchors.
Thank you, brother, for everything and every initiative you have been taking for us and for all children in India, and for being a guiding light to everyone. Thank you, brother, once again. Now we invite you to join us in the Sabbath prayer. It is a prayer for all those reaching out to those most in need. At the difficult time, it salutes the work of Pratik with the Christian brothers, ex-brothers, reaching out to those most affected by COVID-19. It is a prayer for people made and kept poor. Let us all join this prayer together as we close this program for this evening.
May the Lord protect and defend you. May He always shield you from shame. May you come to be among us a shining name. May you be both strong and constant. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord, and keep them from the stranger's way. May God bless you and grant you, Lord, may the Lord fulfill our Sabbath prayer for you. May God take you to pastures that may He send you shepherds who will care for you. May the Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from shame. Preserve you from shame. And deliver them with happiness. So hear our Sabbath prayer.
Manisha, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself, Manisha.
I'm so sorry. Thank you everyone for joining us in this prayer. We all look forward your maximum participation, all the Pratek's initiatives. Please spread the word as much as you can. Thank you, but don't leave. We have some questions for you from our kids.
Thank you, Manisha. Thank you, Vishal. And thanks to all of you for being here with us. We're just going to show you a few scenes of this hall. Son is going around, just showing you what's happening here in this hall of the rations being stacked up to leave this hall today and tomorrow. Some of I think the vehicle is already waiting to go to some of our most vulnerable communities right now. But while you see these visuals, I'm inviting any of you to ask questions or have a chat, and we shortly will allow all of you to come up to the panelist section and share your videos and share your conversations, your questions. Saksham, Taneja, would you like to say something? If you want,
Yes,
please
sir.
go ahead, Saksham.
Today's question for panelist Daniel. How do you think people can engage through art for spreading awareness during these difficult times?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure, sir. How do you think people can engage through art for spreading awareness during these difficult times?
Oh, this is Saksham from our group.
Yes,
We've
sir.
met before, Saksham. We've worked together. How are you?
Namaste, sir. I'm fine.
Namaste.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, great question as usual from you, Saksham. You've got a very inquiring mind. So the role of art, what does art do? Art does a few things. Art creates a space of reflection, right? So when you're standing in front of art, that's a time to reflect on the world. Or if you're seeing a performance, or if you're seeing dance, or if you're listening to music, it creates an opportunity to reflect. When you reflect, you stop and you think about other things. Art creates a space of hospitality and a space of welcome, where you start to welcome in new ideas and new things and new people. And art also looks at the world and asks questions of it as well, and says, what's going on and what's going on? So when there's something, when there's a problem, those are good ways and methods to face a problem, aren't they? To stop, to reflect, to create an open space for new ideas to come in, and to ask questions, what's going on? So any form of art, paintings, drawings, poems, acting, they all do the same thing. Stop, reflect, open your mind, and then ask questions. Art doesn't give any answers. It just creates those opportunities to reflect, because usually when you stop, reflect, think, and listen, the answers come from inside you, not from the art. Art doesn't teach us anything. Art just gives us the opportunity to listen to ourselves. That's a great question, Saksham. I hope you're doing very well. It's good to see you again here.
Yes, sir. Me too. Sir, I just wanted to show you my latest artwork.
I'd love to see it. Maybe you can share it in the group, Saksham. But maybe Manisha and Vishal can just be the bosses of this conversation. But Saksham, you can share it in the group or send it to Steve and he can send it to me. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Good on you. We'll meet again.
Thank you, sir. Nice to meet you, sir. Sir, I hope we will meet again.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Saksham. Thank you, Saksham. Thank you, Daniel. Saksham, you can lift your art piece if you wish to. And in the meantime,
good.
can
Saksham,
I ask?
you've got permission. Show us the
Kanak?
art. Show us the art.
Yes.
Share your screen.
Sir, I have recreated the Starry Night.
You have indeed. That is so beautiful, Saksham. Good on you. With paint?
Yes, sir.
Just beautiful.
Thank
Great.
you.
Keep doing
Thank
it,
you,
Saksham. Keep it up. All right.
Thank you so
Send
much,
us some
sir.
more and keep doing it. Maybe you
And
can auction that off.
And maybe some of you can give raise a hand of appreciation for Saksham, and certainly Saksham, we'll consider auctioning that as well if you donate it to our little auction. Over to Kanak. I think you had a question, Kanak.
Kanak, are you here with us?
Kanak, are you there?
Chaya, do you have a question for us? There are a number of Aksa, do you have a question?
I think they have raised their hands to appreciate.
Okay. Beautiful,
boy.
Manisha. I didn't read that, but you've read it well. Thank you. Bennett, do you have a question? Can we raise you into a panelist section?
So Ben should join in as a panelist.
Yes, he has. Okay.
Yeah.
Manisha, you have a question. Manisha, go ahead, Manisha.
Manisha, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself. Manisha, अगर कोई question है तो unmute कर लो.
Yes, Steve. So my question is for Andres, sir. During this pandemic, it is very difficult to engage with people on ground. So how we can engage with children and fill this gap?
Hi Manisha. Hello. मुझे उम्मीद है कि तुम ठीक हो. How can you? It's a question very hard for me to answer. I'm not in Delhi at the moment. I just can imagine. My imagination is in Delhi in this situation, and how children can come together. In a way, I think you are doing it. You are doing it. Even if you are not allowed. That's what I understand, because you cannot, and that's good, that you have your own thoughts, your own mind, your own energies, and your needs to live, to learn, to be here, to observe this life, and that's what you are doing. And at the moment, for a period, this time is more difficult. It's a challenge, even for young people. It's a bigger challenge for young people. And you just have to know and to trust that this period will shift away little by little. Things are never static. They don't stay like this. They are not now, it will always be like that. Don't think that. It will come back to a certain, what we call normality. I don't know what is normal in life with all my age, but it will come back to a normal way how you can communicate with other ones, with friends, with people you like, to talk about. We have now these possibilities to talk. I mean, this is nothing against the life and to hug someone, to be really, but we have this possibility, what we are doing now, to talk on Zoom. And I know this is just nothing, but it helps. So be patient. And what okay, I am talking now, and what I want to give back, I think that, and it's one thing which was not, it was not talked about in all this, from the beginning. A very important point in all this, from my side, this is my opinion, many people think different, but to come out of this are the vaccinations. The situation in India with the vaccinations at the moment is very bad. I follow the news every day. But the vaccinations are the only way and the fastest, quickest way out of these situations. I know that many people in India, there are a lot of fake news running online and in the medias, but vaccinations are helping a lot, and they are the way out. So if you have access, and tell that also to people who, okay, to many religious people, they don't believe, they don't want to be vaccinated, deep religious people, many people who think that maybe we get chips implanted, they don't want to, there are many reasons not to think, where you are just anxious and afraid. And in the situation where people in India are at the moment, your anxiousness is even bigger. And you think you got the vaccination and you will die or something. I don't know. People are spreading out stupid news. And I think, okay, the masks, all this are preventive things. but the vaccinations. And as more people will get vaccinated in a shorter time, you will come out of this situation, and social life will be able to come up again, also for your young people, and school and education, everything will run up and come to a normal status. So this is a part maybe also for Steve, that to communicate what I would just suggest. You could be another to have another opinion, but I think from natural sciences out, vaccination is the fastest way out. And if you have access, tell your parents, tell your uncles, aunties, chachas, everyone, please try to convince to get vaccinated, to all your community. Okay, that's for
Thanks,
me.
Andres. Yeah. Thank you, Andres. We will take up that idea of yours. Our campaign is going to be called Masked but Not Muted. And we're going to raise our voices to ensure that all children, when they have the opportunity to vaccinate themselves, they will do so, and ensure that their families and friends also do so. So masked for sure, but we're not going to be muted. Over to Manisha.
So just want
Manisha, before you go on, technically we've ended the program with the Sabbath prayer. This is just an informal conversation. So anyone who needs to leave, thank you for being with us. You spent 2 hours with us. We're really grateful for the time you spent with us. But if anyone wants to stay on this, have an informal chat, please feel free to do so. Over to you, Manisha.
once again, thanks from all of us for joining here. If you want to leave, you may leave because we never know which country is having what time. So you may leave now if you want. So our next question is from Bennett sir.
Yeah, good evening to everybody. It's evening here in Delhi. It was not so much as a question, but a word of appreciation for Steve and the whole team for the excellent work that you'll have done so far, especially for this program. And I have recently joined Pratyek, and I would love to be more involved, but because of the pandemic, I'm more restricted to the house. But a word to Manisha too. I would like to add to what Andreas had said. Spreading positivity is what can be done through the children. For every negative thought, every negative and sometimes false news that is spread through WhatsApp and other means, counter it with a positive thought. Counter it with joy and with all the lovely things that you've shared so far, that you had so far. Think of those things instead of thinking of just the negative aspect of this virus. That's all I'd like to add. And all the best to you. I'm with you all the time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Manisha, before you go forward, I just want to say something. Manisha, can I?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, thank you. So, Daniel, you have raised your hand. I don't know if it is you want to ask a question or you want to leave because it's about 11:30 p.m. at your place. So, if you could just let us know, and if you want to leave, you can. And thank you so much for being here with us tonight. For you, you were here, and you're always there for us. So, thank you so much. And in case you want to speak something, you're most welcome. Daniel?
Before Daniel comes on, may I just add that the visuals you saw of all the rice and grain in our hall is thanks to Daniel's connection in Adelaide and then Melbourne. Daljit is going to support us with this venture. So thank you, Daniel, for connecting us with the Sikh community in Adelaide and Melbourne, who are really at the forefront across the world. The Sikh community, the Khalsa community, has really given us a wonderful idea of being there whenever there's need. So thank you, Daniel, for also standing for us Indians who come across to your shows and need your help. you always open your doors to the last voice, and your paintings speak a lot about that. So thank you, Daniel, for being with us.
Thank you for that, Steve. I've already sent a photo of that to my friends in Khalsa Aid in Adelaide, Gurundajit Singh, and asked him to send it over to the Khalsa Aid people in Melbourne. They're very, very active guys. They're amazing. And they're doing the same sort of work from you, from a different perspective. Yep. So I'm really amazed. You got onto that pretty quickly, and they're very active. It's like, bang, if you want something done, ask the Sikh community. They'll do it immediately. Thanks.
So thank you once again, everybody. If there's anybody who just wants to say hello, just raise your hands. We'll bring you on the main platform. Thanks, David. Please do come in. Thank you for being with us. Rachel, do come in. Sorry, Vishal, you want to say something? I'm so sorry.
I think Gail Praria wants to say something.
Oh, so Mikhail is on the French thing. So do we go into the French section? Is that how we get to Mikhail? No, sorry.
Gail Praria.
That's
Gail
Byron
Pereira.
there.
Byron.
Yeah, Byron.
I'm coming from my wife's computer. Again, I think just to echo what Bennett said, we are all newer entrants on the Pratek management or board. But the work that Pratek has been doing is something that's attracted us to try our best to contribute to this. And I saw is Daniel still on, or has he left? Okay.
I'm still here. Here.
Daniel, I just want to draw your attention to that the painting that you see in the background of my shoulder is actually very interesting. This was a friend of mine who unfortunately lost his dad in the first round of COVID. But his dad was 75, and he was a very artistic person. So what you're actually seeing there is a larger enlargement of a cell phone screen. And his dad was doing these doodles on his phone, and he turned up with a large collection of these doodles. And for his 75th birthday, his son had all these artworks printed out, and they have a charitable school in that works with the poor in Panipat, and they auctioned out these pieces of art. So very similar to what we are now trying to do over here. So there's a large collection of doodles that are done on a phone, and they've been printed on canvases and framed. So I'm going to try and connect with that friend of mine, and maybe we can get some of that. I bought 3 pieces. I bought 3 pieces of art that somehow had an appeal of, this one is like a little bit of a crowd. It's not very clear, but I'll get your details from Steve and maybe send you those pictures. But yeah, so I just thought you'd be interested because I saw your art at the back there as well. So, but yes, thank you to everybody, and Steve, for giving us the opportunity to be part of this. It's something that I think is very important for all of us to try and do. Not all of us get the opportunity, and I always say, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to do what I do, with Pratek and in my other outreaches to help the poor. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Byron. May I invite David? David is also a member of the board of Pratek and also on the leadership council of the brothers. David.
Steve, am I audible?
Yes, David.
Okay. No, Steve, I just wanted to say thanks. It was very nice to be a part of this program. Byron stole a word from my mouth, and that word is opportunity. And what I want to say is this, the difference for me between the COVID wave last year and this year is that last year I had the opportunity given to me by you, by Pratyek, the opportunity to, to work together. When I look at Pratyek, I know that Pratyek very much means the right of every child. But I was just looking at it today and saying, Pratyek, I think everybody who worked last year with you and probably this year will always be grateful. You give everybody an opportunity to be grateful because of the chance to work with people who otherwise we do not get a chance to work with. So I want to thank you, Steve. Looking at the Sabbath prayer, it brought lovely memories of the working last year, remembering Ankit and Vishal and Saurabh and Byron, I see, and all those in the team. And I want to say thank you, Steve. Thank you for that opportunity last year. Yes, I just want to encourage whoever is here to take part in whatever Pratyek has to offer, because you would always be left grateful. Thanks, Steve. And thanks to the team.
Thank you, David. Thank you. May I invite Sangram Jyoti Chaudhary. Sangram. Sangram, would you like to say something? Okay, so Thames, us interpret that. I don't know how we're going to manage this, but perhaps you got to go and interpret that for us. Temsurenla?
Brother, I can't see her here. I can't see her here at all.
Apologies for this. Is there anybody, Lynn, if you're around, can you help us in the translation?
Lynn ma'am has left. She dropped a message.
Pretty late, yes. Sincere apologies for this disconnect.
Brother, I'll ask Erin if she can join, but yeah, I'll still need a minute or so.
Can you see my video? Yeah, can he type his comment? All those who are on the screen, can you just do the typing sign, please? Do as you're typing. He may get the message.
He can't write, he said.
Okay, okay. Go on, Vishal. If you can interpret what he's saying, go ahead.
Yes, I think Vishal can, no? Vishal?
Yes, ma'am, the little bit, but not like professional ones.
But you would be able to manage with some message at least?
Yes, some message, not like completely what he's saying.
So can you first tell him that you will be interpreting for him? You will do it for us. Can you tell him?
Would everybody else turn off their videos so that the flashlight goes on Vishal, please? Turn off your videos.
Steve,
so
please. Okay, I'll try my best.
No, so that Sangram sees you, not to give you the attention. We want Sangram to see you. Okay, it's not the spotlight. Sorry. In the meantime, Anisha, can you bring back Aaron, please? Aaron herself is dealing with sickness right now, and she also has a young baby to look after. So we can understand that she had to drop off.
Yeah. He's from Brotherpur and he said something about his family.
So maybe he wants to say that father has passed away, my mother is alive, and I have a brother.
Brother, he has art. He's the artist. He's the artist and he's showing his art. So all of you, he's showing his art.
You will talk to us. You will tell us what he's saying.
Okay, okay. No. He brings his mother.
Yes, yes. बोलिए. नमस्ते नमस्ते.
नमस्ते नमस्ते आंटी जी. वो यही पूछ हम लोग बस